Hello everybody, Xanafar here, and today I am doing a review of episode 9 of the English dub of Ultraman Z. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the characters. Let's talk about Haruki. Haruki in this episode is pretty good, I like him. He pilots Windham and he fights King Joe and tries to stop him from getting some medals. He got tricked by Yuka and Judlo because, well, they are actually not the Kaiju medals they are attempting, is actually just a single trying to replicate the Kaiju medals so they can trick King Joe and distract him. Ultraman Z. He gets some new Ultraman medals, pretty cool, but he forgets how to use them. I think it's pretty funny. And he also meples it and then gets a new attack, so that's pretty cool. Let's talk about Judlo. Judlo is really good in this episode, really fun. He makes a plan, sadly it don't really work out. I like how Judlo is like, oh well, Ultraman cut the medals, but he knows he cut the medals, and I think that's pretty funny. I also think it's pretty cool the fact we see Judlo driving.
Alright, we're going to McDonald's. Oh yeah. Oh, we're here. Oh, I'll have two Nuppanai, Lars, Knuckles sits.
We get your dick!
I'm just curious how he got his license. But Judlo is really good in this episode, and I love Judlo in this episode. Let's talk about Yoko. Yoko is really good in this episode. She delivers the Ultraman medals, sadly to a Celebro, and Celebro messed everything up. Seems like losing the Ultra medals kinda is affecting her in a way. But yeah, she is pretty good in this episode. Let's talk about Yuka! Yuka is really good in this episode. She gets very excited about King Joe, and she even helps out Ultraman Z to defeat King Joe, telling him when he separates, that's where his weak points are. Very, very nice. So all the characters have very good scenes in this episode, and just really good. Now let's talk about the dubbing. Again, the dub is fantastic. I'm still amazed at the fact that we have this much of a good dub for Ultraman. I'm still amazed by this, and I really love the dub. Again, if you hadn't seen the dub for Ultraman Z, go check it out, because this dub is really good, and I really love it. We do hear the narrator again. I think that's pretty cool, but as I was watching it, I was like,
Allied forces have been gathering them in secret ever since.
Piccolo? Why Piccolo narrating this? And I know, Kurita Sabbath works on Dragon Ball and voiced many characters. I just think it's funny to hear Piccolo's voice. Now let's move on to the effects. It's pretty cool to see King Joe in this episode. I like King Joe, especially how threatening it is in this episode. And eventually seeing him fight Windham, two Ultra 7 robots fighting each other, I think is pretty cool. I also really like the scene Tiga, Dinah, and Gaia again, because I love those Ultras, and I think it's really cool that they can help out Gamma Future. I also think it's really cool the fact Zed can use the Z-Riser as a weapon. Now yes, we have seen Jeed use that, and I didn't really say that here, but I want to say it now. I think it's really cool the fact he can use it as a weapon. With the effects in this episode, and the effects are really good. I especially like the driving scene with King Joe trying to get to the car. My criticism. Shouldn't Yoko recognize Celebro? Now, yes, he was wearing a dating uniform and he was mostly keeping his head down, but when she started chasing him, shouldn't she recognize him then and said something? Because she acts like she never saw him before. Now, this is just a nitpick, but with the other Ultra medals, I would've liked to see a fusion form with these Ultramans, Ultraman Cosmos, Nexus, and Mebius, because I think that would have been pretty cool. It's not the biggest deal, it's just a nitpick. And it's still cool he can use that as an attack. What do I like about this episode? Well, I like Judlo in this episode quite a lot, and Gamma Future, and especially seeing Tiga, Dinah, and Gaia. And I even like King Joe in this episode. And I really love the car chase scene with King Joe, especially in fighting Windham, because it's a mix of cool but also funny. I think it's pretty interesting the fact Allied forces are finding Ultra medals and keeping it a secret. Something I think is funny, the guy being trolled by the alien looks like he's drugged.
I would like a live pepperoni pizza.
What is my final thoughts for episode 9 of Ultraman Z? This episode is just another really good episode of Ultraman Z. It's very fun, Joe is awesome, Judlo is awesome, and I just really like this episode. Well, that is it for this review. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, drop a like for this video. If you're new, subscribe. Xanafar is out.